Greetings War Thunderers, this is Longshot bringing you another Uptiered video, this time featuring the Tier 1 Yak-1. This was the first Yak ever introduced in 1941. It was found to be superior to the Lags and MiG-3s that were around at that time. It was very stable, very easy to fly, very good turning rate as well, great performance under 4,000 meters, and proved very effective against the Bf-109Es and Friedrichs which it faced, especially in the Battle of Stalingrad. Now I mention all of that because in War Thunder it was introduced at a battle rating of 2.0, since been increased to 2.3, where it basically is a clubber, doesn't face anything like the competition it saw during the war, so I decided in this video to tier it up a bit. So I'm going to fly it in a Tier 2 3.3 battle rating lineup alongside the Yak-9 and 1B, and I'm giving it a much more attractive historical paint job, that of a leading ace in Yak-1s in World War II, Mikhail Baranov. In my testing, the plane actually handles very similarly to the 1B and Yak-9. Lacks a bit of power compared to them, but it's really not that much different. So let's take it to battle and see how we go. And by the way, I've squeezed 2 battles into this video rather than my normal one, which is why it's a bit longer than normal. And with this first one, my plane wasn't quite spaded up, as the recent server patch had removed the fuel injection, so that'll make it a bit more interesting. So what have we got here? A ground strike Paradise Island, making sure my gun's targeting range is 800 meters, of course all the weapons are nose mounted. Did I mention the weapons? Yes, it has a Shavac cannon firing through the propeller as is standard with the Yaks. Except for the ones which have bigger cannon of course, and a pair of light machine guns, Shikaz 7.62mm in the nose, which is different from the others which most of which have heavier machine guns, the 12.7mm Berezins. Okay, so I'm climbing out to the side and it's around just short of 3,000 meters that it loses its WEP. You can see the WEP's gone all grey there. Basically, WEP will give you 1 or 2 extra horsepower and that's it, hardly anything. So above that altitude you're basically flying without it. I'm climbing at around 270 to 280 kilometers an hour, which is about the best climb speed for this plane. And here's where the lack of horsepower really shows itself. I could see that Bf-109 climbing and stalling, and I just couldn't quite get to him in time. And he's regaining speed even as I get into guns range. Now I could have turned over and followed him, but I saw the Yak-3 was there doing exactly the same thing. So I thought, no, I'll go for more altitude, considering it takes a little while to gain it in this plane. It'll only get to around 3,500 meters or so. Yeah, I'm just leading that Bf-109 and letting the Yak-3 finish him off. Yeah, it'll get to around 3,500 meters or so in 2 WEPs from a 2,000 meter spawn, which is an average-ish sort of climb rate. Mind you, there's a lot of other planes in the 3.0 and slightly above battle rating which have a similar sort of climb rate, so it's not as if it's that bad by way of the competition I'm putting up against. So now I'm up here, let's do a bit of bomber hunting, starting with, why not, a PBY. He's seen me coming, he's trying to perform some kind of turn. It's not going to do him any good. I'm aiming below, to the left of the lead indicator there, so I can pick on a wing, and off it goes. Far more effective with a PBY than trying to just aim at the fuselage. Are there any climbers? Doesn't appear so. It's just one of those games where the enemy have given us control of high altitude. Didn't even have to fight for it really. The only one who put up a struggle was that Bf-109. And speaking of the Bf-109, his pilot is back in a Junkers 88, trailing behind an IL-4, so I'm the only guy up here at the moment. I may as well take them out if I can. Starting with Junkers. Low approach, so I got a bit more of the plane to shoot at than just the horizontal profile. And that was quick and easy. Let's see if I can carry on toward the IL-4. The cannon only has 120 rounds and it's quite a high rate of fire, so you want to make sure your aiming is pretty precise. Otherwise you're very quickly out of ammunition. Picking up on the turn there, stop firing, a little bit of a high yo-yo, see if I can get him again. Here we go. Again aiming a bit higher, trying to pick off the right wing, there we go. Okay, so that's 3 easy kills. He can kill bombers, that's pretty obvious. but that's not why I brought it up here. That P25 has got the Yak-3 on him, so I won't worry about him. Just gain a bit of height while I reload. That Junkers appears to have gotten a bit far away, plus there's now P47s up here as well, and the Yak-3 is going towards him. So yeah, I'm going to look for climbing fighters instead. Now what have we got down there? There's a MiG-3. It's climbed a bit. If he gets within 2 kilometers, I'll dive on him. Yep. Just a quick check on those guys, they're okay. Alright, let's take on this MiG-3 who's still definitely climbing. So this is a straightforward boom and zoom here. And get nice and close. You see me coming, he's turning off to the side. I'll just pause it here for a second. Some of you may be asking why I haven't rolled the plane to the left to follow him as he ducks away there, and there's 2 reasons. One is diving straight back towards the enemy spawn and I don't want to follow him. Secondly, I'm a bit too close. If I do that, there's a good chance I'll collide. As it is, I can just pull up vertically out of the shot and straight into a zoom climb, and basically it's keeping my plane safe rather than trying to be over aggressive with this shot, because I'll believe I'll get another one. Anyway, I'll unpause and let's see what happens. Okay, I did manage to land a critical hit on him. And now let's see what he's doing. He's trying to climb back up, so after a quick check over there, I'll just loop back toward him. My speed's still in the 280, so it's still pretty good. Yes, he's trying to climb up at me from underneath, but he's made a sharpish turn in order to do so. I don't know how much speed he'll have. As soon as the lead indicator appears, I'm going into a rudder turn to make sure he doesn't get an easy shot at me. There's a lot of vapor trails from his wings. He has stalled his plane, and that's an easy kill now. So that's turning a boom and zoom into a stall attack instead, which gives you a far easier shot. Over here is a Spitfire, but he's flying away from me. Other planes that have spawned in. There's a Dornier 217. Decisions. Is anyone else climbing yet? Yes, an I-185 off to the right. Is it the same guy? I can't remember. He's climbing hard, whoever he is. Look at him going vertically straight up. That's no way to treat an I-185. It is a way to give me an easy kill though. Okay, 5 easy kills to start the game. I don't feel like this plane is out of place at all so far. Although obviously I haven't been challenged up here at altitude, because none of them have bothered at the outset to really get up here and fight for it. And it's not hard getting good kills when you have every advantage, even if you are in an inferior plane. The altitude advantage more than makes up for it. Alright, all the same guy's back again, this time in a Yak-9, and he's climbing out to the side chasing, I think it's the Yak-3 off to the right there. Yes it is. And the Yak-3 is leading him quite nicely, returning the favour that I did earlier. And he's going to try and turn toward me, and I can just aim inside the lead indicator and pick him off before he has guns on me. Alright, next target please. Don't need to reload yet, 85 shells is still plenty. This 109 looks like he's on the way up. Definitely climbing. So the main thing here is I want to dive on him at a time and place where he doesn't have guns on me. I don't want to risk a head-on, in other words. So I'm just waiting. He's climbed a long way. By the time I dive down there now, he'll probably be very close to stalling. Let's see how we go. He tries to go head-on, but he can't do it. And I pick him off as he stalls. Notice how much damage that Shevak does at close range against a stable, static target. Yeah, it's more than effective enough. You just have to be precise with your shots though. And certainly if your target is stalled out, it's not hard being precise. Okay, I'm getting underneath this ankle, then I can lift up, get a good burst at him, good chance of ripping off a wing. There we go. Okay, are there going to be any more climbers? At some point in this game we're going to run out, and I skipped an area there where I was just basically waiting for about 30 seconds, and a Junkers 87 has spawned back in, making sure it's not a D5, it's only a D3, and he has light machine gun, so I can take it on in a head-on. And that is a very easy kill, although I probably should have been a little bit more evasive in my head-on just to not have the risk of wearing even light machine gun fire. So far I think it's only the 2 enemy fighters that have, players that have even tried to climb. And I'm really seriously considering at this point, should I dive in and start boom and zooming lower down? And I was thinking of doing exactly that when out of the corner of my eye I saw another red plane off to the side there. He's actually only just spawned in, so I thought I'll do a shallow climb right in front of him and see if he lifts up and tries to follow me. And that's exactly what he's trying to do in a Yak-7. And he's getting reasonably close to guns range. I want to starve him energy, so I'm rudder turning. And yep, he's out of energy now. And another easy kill. And now it is time to do some boom and zooming. No one else is going to try and climb in this game. Everyone's furballing down the ground level. No more bombers are going to spawn in. So if I hang around up here any longer, I'm just wasting time and not having any further impact on the battle. But I'm going to make sure first. I don't want to sacrifice the altitude advantage I've exploited for 10 kills so far. If there's any chance I can get further kills from being up here, but I don't think so. So here we go. Straight at the thickest part of the furball, and we'll see what targets present themselves. Now I'm thinking of the P40 off to the right, as he's kind of exposed. Be travelling nice and slow. Right, here we go. Another very easy kill, and then I can just extend away, hopefully without using too much of my dive speed. Well, there's a bow fighter who took a shot at me there, so I've got to wiggle around a bit, which cost me a bit of speed, but not too bad. And I appear to have gotten away, so I can regain a bit of height and look to boom and zoom again, except a lag 3 is actually closing me down. Now I can outclimb him, but if he's got the speed to get guns on me before I get an altitude advantage, then I'm going to have to engage him, and it looks like that might be the case. Lag 3s can carry quite a bit of speed in a dive, and they can retain it for a long time, given they're such a heavy plane. But in a dogfight, this Yak can easily outperform a Lag 3, and yes, I'm going to have to engage before he gets close enough to get guns on me. So into a little bit of a head-on, and then very quickly going evasive. Or a little bit of fire there, but obviously nothing much. And now with my rudder turn, you can see the huge advantage I have over him as far as turning goes. There's just no competition here at all. And now, yeah, boots on the other foot. I'm solidly planted behind him. And it's only a matter of time before I take him down. There's nothing he can do. So that was 12 kills. Not a bad start, especially considering the plane wasn't spaded. And with that, the game ended very quickly before I could get any more. So with that, I thought, well, 3.3 isn't high enough. Let me move it up to tier 3 and a 3.7 lineup and see how we go. I'll also change the camouflage. I made another one. This is another race in the Yak-1, so yeah, why not? Yep, so I've introduced the I-16 Type 27 and the Yak-9T. That should give me some tougher opponents. And it did, and there were some situations where I died. I flew it in about a dozen battles. This is just one of them, and you can see I'm the only one on my team trying to contest high altitude against a massive other planes in cloudy conditions so they can jump me, and yeah, it wasn't pleasant. I had to dogfight this Yak-7 in, though there's a 190 lurking around. There was also a P-63 somewhere in the clouds and another one en route to intercept me. Just as I got this, there's the 190 making an unsuccessful pass. Just as I got the Yak-7B, who I'm easily outturned in my guns here, the P-63 picked me off. Them's the breaks. But that could have happened in any plane. It wasn't a case of my plane was outperformed, more that I was just simply outnumbered. And here's another one. This one's interesting. Similar to that attack on the Yak-9 earlier, I'm doing the same thing against an SB2C. I'm going to pause it there. Looks exactly the same attack, but he has more energy than the Yak-9 did, and he's got enough to turn and get guns on me at the last second. Plus my aim bobbles around a bit as I'm firing, so I don't quite land the shots that I should be landing, and as a result, it's not him that goes down, it's me. Slight misjudgment of energy, and that's what can happen to you. But yes, that also had nothing to do with the plane I was flying. It was just a misjudgment I could have made in any plane. So let's see how we go. This is one of the more interesting battles. Okay, it's Domination Mosdoc. Just put it into a gentle climb. And not many people on my team are climbing. And there are some tier 4 planes in this game, but they haven't really revealed themselves much yet. We'll see them as the game goes on. And yeah, I'm just clawing for altitude at the start. I don't want to be in a position where I'm boom and zoomed by other planes if I can help it. There was a high Spitfire over the left, but he dived out. And I'm probably, to be honest, being a little bit too conservative here. Okay, I'm king of the tree, now I've got to do something with it. And everyone's going low. No one's going to fight for altitude at all in this game. So I may as well take on that Wellington. He's trying to dive to get away from me. Just going to roll over and drop in behind and above him, and he is not going to escape. Aim well in front of that lead indicator to allow for bullet drop, and down he goes. See if I can continue the boom and zoom, seeing I'm in a dive. What have we got, a 109 here? See if I can pick him up. It's going to be a tight shot. Only damage. So I'll turn back to the right, see if there's someone else I can pick up while I'm continuing the dive. Yes, a Spitfire, and he's lined up very nicely, and I'm just a fraction of a second too late. And that is a typical situation from having, oh, P51 on my tail, better go evasive. That is a typical situation from when you have an undertiered plane. You're just that little bit slower than everyone else, and it can mean that other people get the kills before you. Alright, if he continued to stay in dogfight, either I or someone else would get him. He's flying away, and now I'm going back towards combat, being led by that P51. And that's not a good thing to do. I'm flying where he wants me to, not where I decided to fly. So I'm going to look and see if I can pick someone off, like this A36, and then very quickly turn and run away, and get a better altitude position before engaging again. Although this 109 F4 is a very tempting target, and somehow I missed that kill. That's twice that guy's escaped from me. Yeah, he was the first 109 I took a shot at during the boom and zoom. Okay, let's get a bit of altitude back. It's just the usual Mosdoc. Lots of furballing in the middle of the map. Lots of opportunities for enemies to intercept you and take you out if you get yourself exposed. Got to choose where and when and how to engage. Okay, there's a Firefly diving right in front of me. If he wants to go head on, yeah, he does. Of course you would in a Firefly. I'm going to use a rudder turn back sharply on him. Now they can turn well, but just with elevators. And he's trying to do that to follow that Yak, and that makes him a very easy target. Okay, what's next? That other runway A, is completely dominated by the enemy. There's no point flying there at the moment. Instead, I'll pick up the trail of these guys who are heading in towards B. Got a Henschel 129 and P30. I won't worry about the Tiffy because he will certainly burn out. So I'll pick up the duck here, who's presenting a very nice target. There we go. Not much chance of me getting a shot at that Lightning. There's everyone else all over the back of him already. I'm at extreme range. Oh, I might get a shot. Nice. Satellite. Give up on that. And once again I need to reload. Because I'm reloading, I can't dive down and take on that Hurricane. Who tried to go head on with a P51 with 4 Hispanos, and that did not work out well for him. Okay, the next crowd of players are arriving. Although they're outnumbering us at this airfield now, and that's not a good sign. Actually, it seems most of our team have switched to the other airfield. So we've switched sides on the battlefield. Okay, there's a Pu-2 capping, Spitfire down there, and a P-51, and a couple of other planes lurking in the general vicinity, including a P-47 coming in. So it's hard to choose a target here. I'll go for the easiest one, and then I'm going to get out as quickly as I can. So straight down, diving on the stationary guy on the ground, and then run for it. If it was just against one opponent, I'd be happy to take them on. Not against multiple, not this early in the battle anyway. And just going a bit evasive, using my dive speed to easily run away from that P-51. Okay, as I climbed, I saw a bunch of them again heading back towards the left, and I'm so tempted to dive on them, particularly that IL-2, but I could see a P-47 making a beeline for me. See him there? And I thought, I'm sure to be intercepted if I go and dive on those guys. Yep, he's definitely coming for me. And I would have taken him on, except there's a P-38 also coming for me. So, I'm firing these rockets from extreme range, as if that's going to work. So, if it was just one of them, yeah, I'd be very happy to take on a P-47, but not when the P-38 could then pick me off while I was dogfighting him. So I'm going to lead them out for a little way. I had a bit more energy than they do, I think. Whatever reason, I'm gradually leaving both those powerful planes behind, which I did not expect to. And it got to the point where P-47 eventually gave up when he was 2.6 kilometers behind, and I decided they're going to just follow me for the rest of the battle. This is silly, so I'll take on the P-38, avoid his head-on. P-47 appears to have given up. Okay, so seeing that, I'm going to turn back and see if I can dogfight with this lightning. Please, please stay on dogfight with me. And it looks like he's going to for a moment. And then as I pull up into a higher yo-yo type thing, he decides to dive away and run for it. Great, that was a waste of everyone's time. So, after chasing him down here, I'm looking for a boom and zoom opportunity. And beneath me, a couple of planes following a friendly P-400. I should be able to pick off the guy at the back. A Tiffy. Here we go. Holds very nice and still in that in a dive there. It's quite a good firing platform. Quite decent high-speed handling on this plane, as with most Yaks. And there's an A-20 who's obviously coming in to try and cap. But we've got a P-51 down there who's making a run at him, so I presume he's got it in hand, and I'm looking at the fighters coming in after him. The P-51 misses and then crashes. So all of a sudden the A-20 is down there capping, and I'd love to dive on him, but if I do so, I'll be mincemeat for that fresh wave of two P-51s and a Yak-9 who are heading this way, so I can do nothing about it. Just have to be patient. P-51's coming for me. Now I presume that that is the Canon P-51, until he starts firing at me from quite an absurd range, and I see, oh, it's the same guy who was in the P-47 before. Those are 50 cals. This is a P-51D of some persuasion. And having seen that, I can dogfight him. As long as I keep out of the way of his I mean, I could have dogfighted a dog fort. How do you say that? A Canon P-51 as well, but yeah, I'd like to take on a D series and see how we go. And he wants to turn, and someone else has set him alight, which is unfortunate. I could definitely have gotten a shot there, I feel. Okay, never mind. With him out of the way, so there's planes down there to boom and zoom. Let's see how we go. 4 of them though, and I'm diving into a bit of trouble. Having realised that, I decide to pull up a bit. No sense throwing your plane away. This Tiffy wants to go head on, so get out of the way of that. Take a shot at the P-400, and very unlucky not to get a kill there. And seeing I'm doing this, I may as well keep going. I've got a P-51 and a Yak-9, and I didn't really look at the Yak-9. If I had, I would have seen that he was closer than the P-51. But as it is, I got a bit gun happy and I wasted most of my ammo. and then suddenly realised I had a shot at this guy and I went out of cannon, completely out of cannon, and now the opportunity's gone. And there's a Tiffy 1B late who's hanging around here as well. I have to run and get out of here because suddenly I'm exposed quite close to their fighter spawn with the Yak-9 and the Tiffy 1B. And that does not bode well for my poor lowly little Yak-1. So I'm into guns defense. I'm going to try and drag them out and get away as far as I can. As far as I know, it's just those two planes. Okay, they're too close now. They're obviously faster than me, so... And I also have a P-51 as well, same guy. I must have shot him down earlier, though I don't remember it. Now at this point I saw that plane on fire and I thought it was the Yak-9. It was actually the Tiffy. The Yak-9 is fine and he's just below me lining up for a shot as I take on the P-51. And yep, I got far too slow trying to gain guns on that P-51. He had just enough engine to keep out of my reach, and that's lost me my plane. Never mind, 7 kills against that kind of opposition. That was a lot of fun. So you might be asking, why am I doing these up-tiering battles? Well, firstly because it's a challenge. Secondly because if a plane is a clubber in lower tiers, it's always good to see how high you can push it and still sustain decent gameplay from that plane. See how far it can go before it really is overwhelmed by the competition it faces. I personally think that this plane belongs at a 3.0 battle rating. It certainly doesn't belong at 2.0 or 2.3, which is where Gaijin have put it. Like most Yaks, it's a very enjoyable plane to fly, very versatile. And if you up-tier it a bit, I think you'll get a lot more out of it than if you just use it to club biplanes. So if you'd like to leave some comments below, I'd love to read them. If you'd like to support the creation of these videos, you can do so via my Patreon link. And until my next vid, I'll look forward to seeing you in the skies.